David. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos to everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to those who are joining us for the first time, and welcome to those following along on our live feed. Welcome to Temple Beth Shalom. We're going to begin this morning with a song that we expect everyone to sing because it has no words. So join us in this nigun.
So this nigun, we'll sing on the syllables Yelalai, so we don't have to focus on the words. We can just focus on the way the music makes us feel as we warm up our mind, body, spirit, and voice as we join in, sing with a smile.
So to start us off this morning, Adina, come on over here. April and Dan, come on up, and you have something to present.
All right, we have your talit for you. May you wear it in the best of health and happiness.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu v'tzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatef b'tzitzi.
Amen.
Terrific. Let's turn in our prayer books now Prayer books are in the pockets, are under the seats in front of you. Page 186. 186. So I don't know about you, but every morning I wake up and I'm thankful that I'm waking up. But each step from when I wake up until I get going in the morning, it's an opportunity for a bracha blessing. So please turn to page 198 as we open with our daily blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasech vivina lavchin bein yom uvein laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin metzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mabish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten leyaef koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir sheina me'einai, u'shnuma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asot b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot and commanding us to engage with the words of Torah. So let's turn to those words, and if you'll follow along as we turn in our prayer book to page 224.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכנו ויומנו וחיי כל בית ישראל, בהגלה ובזמן קריב, במהרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתבהר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא במהרו אמן.
Please rise on page 226 for Brotherhood.
אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור ובורא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל. המאיר לארץ ולדרים עליך ברכה וטובו מחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה ראשית. מה רבו מעשיך אדוני כולם בחוכמה עשית, מלאה הארץ קנייניך. תתברך אדוני אלוהינו על שבח מעשה ידיך ועל מאורי אור שעשית יפארך סלה.
אור חדש על ציון תאיר, 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 ונזכה כולנו
Please join me on page 231. Once or twice in a lifetime, a man or woman may choose a radical leaving, having heard Lech Lecha, go forth. God disturbs us toward our destiny by hard events and by freedom's now urgent voice, which explode and confirm who we are. We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. Baruch atah Adonai habocher ba'amo Yisrael amacha.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema
together the Ve'ahavta on page 234. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol vavacha v'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'adecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al vavecha v'shnamta v'necha v'dibarta ba'am v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'laderech ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. We continue on page 240 singing Micha Mocha.
Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, ufedechi neumecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai tzivaot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'a Yisrael. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips and my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotzeinu v'imotzeinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם וזרעת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא פועלים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשדי עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאיך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
And let us all say amen. You may be seated.
We join together at the bottom of page 250 as we sing these words of Vishamru.
אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לעולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם לעולם.
We continue on page 252. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, v'tzei v'mnuchatenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkenu v'toratecha, sabenu mituvacha, v'samchenu v'shuatecha, v'taher libenu le'ovdecha be'emet. V'hanchelenu Adonai Eloheinu, v'ahava uvratzon shabbat kodshecha, v'yanochu ba Yisrael mekadshei shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. We continue on page 254. V'tzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amacha Yisrael u'tfilatam be'ahava tikabel u'thi leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amacha el karov lechol korav b'nei el avodecha v'chonenu shephoch ruchacha aleinu v'techezena einenu b'shuvacha l'tzion barachamim Baruch atah Adonai hamachazer shechinato l'tzion. Please join me on page 257. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations, modim anachnu lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, modim anachnu lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression, modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared, modim anachnu lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom, modim anachnu lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose, modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may not live by our fears but by our hopes, not by our words but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot.
We join in this prayer of peace, Sim Shalom, page 258.
Sim shalom uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al Yisrael amecha. Barucheinu yotzreinu kulanu ke'echad, me'or hanecha, kibron hanecha natzata. ישראל השלום.
We continue in silent meditation.
So it's a beautiful day today, and it's a wonderful opportunity for us to celebrate the next generation of our Jewish community. And we know that Adina will fall right into that pattern, because the apple never falls far from the tree. And, look forward to seeing that. We turn in our prayer books now to our Torah service. So if you would turn to page 362. 362.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך. מלכותך מלכות כל עמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Adonai ozlamo yitin, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
So we want to invite Vanessa and Adam Quinn up to open our ark. And let's get Jacob and Drora and Richard Quinn and April and Daniel and Adina down front.
And we rise.
Down front.
Avarachamim hetiva v'tzonecha et Zion tivnei chomot Yerushalayim tivnei chomot Yerushalayim כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך עולם ונישא, אדונו עולמים. כי mitzion tetzei Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Udevar Adonai mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah. Baruch shenatan Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Gadolul Adonai Hiti Unerom Mima Shemo Yachdav.
Turn around, face the congregation. So there is no more precious moment than this. You see, Adina, you've been thinking that as soon as you're done with the service, you're a bat mitzvah. But really, this is where it happens. Because it's not so much about what you read or do or say, it's really about how your family and your community see you. And bat mitzvah is the recognition that someone is ready to fulfill that which Judaism asks of us on their own, without pressure or pretense. And with your grandparents and your parents up here, that's really what they're demonstrating. That you're ready, that you've done the work, that you've lived the life, and that you accept with your greatest hope for your own future the essence of what's in this Torah. Now, as you know, this Torah is special. This is a Holocaust Torah. And we just went through Yom HaShoah this past week, and this coming week will be Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut. But the greatest testament to the Shoah is that we still carry these Torahs through our community. We still let the memory of them live. And so every one of the Holocaust Torahs tells a different story. But let's say this story is the story of Am Yisrael Chai. Here we are decades later, and a new young woman is now going to carry this Torah through her community and show the world that Judaism is strong and alive and ready to confront the challenges of the 21st century. So as you receive this Torah from your family and stand in front of your community, carry it proudly with determination that you will now forge your own link in the Shalshelet HaKabbalah, the chain of received tradition that stretches all the way back to Sinai and continues today through you. May Dor Lador, from one generation to the next, may Chayil El Chayil, from strength to eternal strength, we pass down the words of Torah.
Lecha Adonai hagidula v'hagibura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'haod ki kol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz Torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim.
Our ornament holders, Aaron and Aya. So you take.
You get to hold this for safekeeping. We'll call you back up when we're ready to put it back on at the end of the Torah.
Please be seated. All right.
Carmel, you come up to the Torah. Come on this side. Yeah, I got it. All right. For our first Aliyah, chanting the blessing, we will have Jacob Akiva, Yaakov ben Heskel, and Drora Akiva, Dora bat Chai. Reading from Torah will be Adina. Here's your yad. And reading our English translation, Michael Akiva, Michael ben Yaakov, Vidora. Ya'amdu l'Aliyah harishona. You guys want to mark the first, if you want to mark the word with your tali, you can. Okay. Either of you, you can go like this. Yeah. All right.
I do this?
All right, go ahead. Yeah, you can do the blessing.
Where? From here?
Yeah.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך,
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. All right. Right there.
ובא אהרון אל אור המועד, ופשט את בגדי הבית, אשר לבש בבואו על הקודש, והניחם שם. ורחץ את בשרו במים במקום קדוש, ולבש את בגדיו, ויצא, ועשה את עולתו ותולה העם, וכיפר בעדו ובעד העם. ואת חרב החטאת יפטיר המזבחה, והמשלח את השעיר לעזאזל, יכבס בגדיו, ורחץ את בשרו במים, ואחרי כן יבוא אל המחנה.
English first.
And Aaron shall go into the tent of meeting, take off the linen vestments that he put on when he entered the shrine, and leave them there. He shall bathe his body in water in the holy precinct, and put on his vestments. Then he shall come out and offer his burnt offering and the burnt offering of the people, making expiation for himself and for the people. The fat of the sin offering he shall turn into smoke on the altar. He who set the Azazel goat free shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water. After that, he may re-enter the camp.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי העולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. יישר כוח. We have to kiss the bat mitzvah? Okay. No, we have to sit there, no? לא עכשיו.
For our second aliyah, we'll call up to chant the blessing Daniel Akiva, Daniel Eli, Ben Yaakov Vidora, and April Akiva, Tova Dina Bat Meir. Reading from Torah will be Adina, and reading the English translation, Yonit Solange, Yonit Bat Harav David Yamin. Ya'amdu l'aliyah hashenit.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
ואת פר החטאת ואת שעיר החטאת אשר הובא את עמם לכפר בקודש יוציא אל מחוץ למחנה ושרפו באש את אורותם ואת בשרם ואת פרשם והשרף אותם יכבס בגדיו ורחץ את בשרו במים ואחרי כן יעבור המחנה והייתה לכם לחוקת עולם בחודש השביעי ואסור לחודש תענו את נפשותיכם וכל מלאכה לא תעשו העזרה והגר הגר בתוככם כי ביום הזה יכפר עליכם לטהר אתכם מכל חטאותיכם לפני אדוני תתחרו.
The bull of sin offering and the goat of sin offering, whose blood was brought in to purge the shrine, shall be taken outside the camp, and their hides, flesh, and dung shall be consumed in fire. He who burned them shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water. After that, he may re-enter the camp. And this shall be to you a law for all time. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall practice self-denial, and you shall do no manner of work, neither the citizen nor the alien who resides among you. For on this day atonement shall be made for you to cleanse you of all of your sins, and you shall be clean before God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat hamet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yeah, you can see her. If you get to take a break, if you want to share your yah with your dad. You get to take a break. Oh, excellent. Here we go. Yah's of plenty. For our third aliyah, chanting the blessing will be the Quinn and Silverman families. Reading from Torah, Daniel Akiva, Daniel Eli ben Yaakov Vidora, and reading the English translation, David Akiva, David ben Yaakov Vidora. Ya'amdu l'aliyah hashlishit.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Shabbat, Shabbaton hi lachem, ve'initem et nafshatechem, chukat olam, ve'chiper hakohen, asher imshachoto, v'asher yemale et yado, lechahen tachat aviv, ve'lavash et bigdei habad, bigdei hakodesh, ve'chiper et migdash hakodesh, ve'et ohel moed, ve'et hamizbeach yechaper, ועל הכהנים ועל כל עם הקהל יכפר. והייתה זאת לכם לחוקת עולם, לכפר על בני ישראל מכל חטאותם אחת בשנה. ויעש כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה.
It shall be the Sabbath of complete rest for you, and you shall practice self-denial. It is a law for all time. The priest who has been anointed and ordained to serve as priest in place of his father shall make expiation. He shall put on the linen vestments, the sacral vestments. He shall purge the innermost shrine. He shall purge the tent of meeting and the altar, and he shall make expiation for the priests and for all the people of the congregation. There shall be to you a law for all time, to make atonement for the Israelites and for all their sins once a year. And Moses did as God had commanded him.
And now, two closing blessings altogether,
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach.
Yasher koach. Yasher koach. Yasher koach. Yasher koach.
Daniel, you get to stay up here so you can get a close view. All right, we're going to invite April to join Daniel up here. You get the close view of, as we call Adina to Torah. All right. And now we call the bat mitzvah to Torah. Ta'amod habachura habat mitzvah Adina Yonit bat Daniel Eli v'tov Adina le'aliyah ha-Torah. All right, you're going to mark your words. Let me hold on to this for a moment. You're going to take your talit and velo taki. And your blessing.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
ולא תקיא הארץ אתכם ותמאכם אותה כאשר קאה את הגוי אשר לפניכם. כי כל אשר יעשה מכל תועבות האלה ונכרתו הנפשות העושות מקרב עמם. ושמרתם את משמרתי לבלתי עשות מחוקות התועבות אשר נעשו לפניהם ולא תטמאו בהם אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
All right, do your English here.
So let not the land spew you out of defiling it, as it spewed out the nation that came before you. All who do any of those abhorrent things, such persons shall be cut off from their people. You shall keep my charge not to engage in any of the abhorrent practices that you were carried on before you, and you shall not defile yourselves through them. I, Adonai, am your God.
You're going to mark your last word there with your tali, with the tzitzit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam natat b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Misha Berach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak, V'Yaakov, Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, V'Leah. Hu yevarech et kol ha'olim lichvod ha'makom v'lichvod ha'Torah. Kadosh Baruch Hu yashmirehem v'yatzelehem mikol tzara v'tzukah, mikol nego machala v'yishlach bracha v'hatzlacha. B'chom aseh yadehem im kol Yisrael ahehem v'namar. Amen. May the Holy One of Blessing bless all of you who've come up with honor for Torah this morning. May God watch over you, protect you, make you successful in everything that you do, together with all the people around the world, and let us all say.
Amen.
So we need our
We will call
standard bearer.
we will call our ornament holders back.
Where are our ornament holders?
And Jacob is our Torah holder.
Jacob. That side.
Where that page went, right.
Please rise.
וזאת התורה ששם משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. ילה לה 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 ילה לה 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 ילה לה 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 ילה לה לה Yalla la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la. Yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la. Yalla la la, yalla la 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 la. Thank you. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la la la, yalla la la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la. Yalla la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la.
This is the Haftarah for Parshat Achremot, is Ezekiel chapter 22, verses 12 to 19. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nviim tovim, v'ratza v'divrehem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'imviei ha'emet v'tzedek. Shochad l'chuvach למען שפוך דם, נשך ותרבית לקחת. ותפצירייך בעושק, ואותי שכחת, נאום אדוני אלוהים. והנה הכיתי כפי, אל ביצך אשר עשית, ועל דמך אשר היו בתוכך. היעמוד ליבך אם תחזקנה ידייך לימים אשר אני עושה אותך. אני אדוני דיברתי ועשיתי, והפיצותי אותך בגויים וזרעתיך בארצות, והתימותי תומתך ממך. וניחת בך לעיני גויים, וידעת כי אני אדוני. ויהי דבר אדוני עלי לאמור, בן אדם, היו לי בית ישראל להשיג כולם נחושת ובדיר וברזל ועופרת בתוך כור, שיגים כסף היו לכן. כה אמר אדוני אלוהים, יען היות כולכם לשיגים, לכן הנני קובץ אתכם אל תוך ירושלים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, צוק העולמים, צדיק בכל הדורות, האל הנאמן, האומר ועושה, המדבר ומקיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה, שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה, לכבוד ותפארת. על כל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומלכים אותך, יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
If we did that, we would throw candy at you, but
I would eat it.
so let's offer this blessing on behalf of the Jewish world today. Avinu Shabashamayim Sur Yisrael v'Go'alo Barech et Medinat Yisrael. Reshit Simchat Ge'ulatenu Agen Aleha B'Revrat Vasnecha Ufros Alecha Sukat Shlomeha Ushlach Orcha V'Amitcha L'Roshecha Sarecha V'Yotzeha V'Taknem Be'etza Tava Milfaneha V'Natata Shalom Ba'aretz V'Samachta Olam L'Yosheveha V'Nomar Amen.
Amen.
Heavenly One, Redeemer and Protector of all Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with good counsel. Establish peace in the land soon, and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen.
Let's turn now to page 374 in our prayer books as we rise to return Torah to the Ark. We need Vanessa and Adam back up here.
הודו על הארץ ושמיים, וירם קרן לעמו, תהילה לכל חסידיו, לבני ישראל עם קרובו. הללויה, הללויה. עץ חיים היא למחזיק עמה ותומכיה מאושר. דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. חדש חדש Chadeshi Yameinu Kekedem.
Please be seated.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Today I read from Parashat Acharemot. I read Leviticus chapter 17, verse 1 to chapter 18, verse 30. My Torah portion, Acharemot, talks about the laws of sacrificing, relationships, and approaching God. This portion is a mess. In chapter 10 of Leviticus, we read in the Torah about the story of Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu. After they were made priests, they came into the tent of meeting and offered strange fire to God. They were not told to do this, and the fire blew up and burned them. The Torah said that God burned them up. God did this because they didn't listen to God and did not follow the rules of sacrifice. In order to approach God in the right way, they would have to wear specific things or clothing items, do tasks, and do the sacrifice in the right way. This portion also has the laws about dating, marrying, and having relationships. This part is really important because Leviticus is all about making the simple holy. Everything in our lives can rise and become holy. While my portion talks about making the simple holy, there is a place where I must draw a line. When it comes to human relationships and making them holy, this portion talks about the forbidden relationships. This includes homosexuality being forbidden. I personally think that this law should have been left out because all relationships should be about love. Love happens to people in many different ways. It can't be predicted or erased. I think that God created this law to keep the reproduction system going. God created two genders for a reason. Although I disagree with the fact that every woman has to give birth and that people of the same gender can't be in a relationship. So what if you can't pass down your genes and blood? All that should matter is the bond between people because love is love and that's that. I know that there are people out there that are against any part of the LGBTQ community. While I may not know the exact reason why they are against it, I have my assumptions. Because of my studies in this parsha, I have a few questions to ask them. To the people who believe gay marriages should be illegal, I want you to ask yourself this. Why are you so against it, and how exactly does the sight of gay couples affect you? At this point, isn't all you're doing just sticking your nose into other people's lives? I think that this kind of rejection of parts of God's creation should be considered baseless hatred. We all have moments in our lives where we exhibit baseless hatred towards someone or something. On the holy days, we ask for forgiveness for the sin of baseless hatred. I think that this hatred is what causes a lot of the stupid mistakes we make. And I think that Judaism wants us to turn a negative into a positive and choose love over hate. If there is an opportunity to replace the negativity with positivity, that is always the best choice to make. Preparing for my bat mitzvah has taught me many lessons. First, the process of writing my Devar Torah and sharing my opinions as to its meaning has been very fulfilling. I didn't know what to make of this portion until I really looked deeply at it. But once I understood what I was reading, one thought led to another, and pretty soon it had written itself. As the saying goes, time flies when you're having fun. Or maybe in this case, I'm just getting older, so time goes by quickly. Either way, it was enjoyable and allowed me to develop my thoughts. I kept writing until my brain was completely fried to a crisp. But as I was writing, I truly got deeper and deeper into this argument. Pretty soon, I got carried away by my thoughts and how strongly I felt about it. Secondly, reading the Hebrew came easy to me. I was able to pick up the melody of trope and felt very comfortable chanting. I hope that you got something positive out of this service. Part of becoming a bat mitzvah is showing responsibility for a mitzvah project. My mitzvah project doesn't have anything to do with my Torah portion, but I feel strongly about doing it anyway. For my mitzvah project, I am raising money to donate medical supplies to hospitals in Bosnia. I thought of this project because we traveled to Bosnia as a family a few years ago. The hospitals there aren't very sanitary and can't afford all the supplies they need to help heal others. I know the importance of great care because I have a medical condition. Because my condition really has no cure, I want to give other people, no matter where they are in the world, an opportunity to be treated. I have started on my project with my parents' help and raised only a bit of the money. I still have a big step ahead of me to be successful in reaching this goal. I would love it if you would participate in this act and help raise the money. You can Venmo me funds and I will add them to the collection. See me after services for the information. Together we can help the people of Bosnia. I have been on a very long journey to get where I am today, and there's a lot of people in here, online, or possibly only coming to my party whom I owe my thanks. First of all, I thank Rabbi Lipper and Cantor Reinwald for helping me get through this long process of training and preparing for this day. I would like to thank all my friends for tolerating me and staying by my side. This goes especially for Nola, Kate, and Yael, who I've known since preschool and infancy. I would like to thank all my teachers throughout the years for giving me a good education, and I probably wouldn't know how to write this. I would also like to thank the Youngs, my parents' friends, and my brother's friends for giving them much joy. My dear cousins, may you always be the crazy little goofballs that you are today. Don't lose those precious smiles of yours. Grandma and Grandpa, you guys have supported me in every way possible. I love you to the moon and back. Aaron, siblings fight, and we fought a lot, but just know that I will love you no matter how mad I am. You're my brother. And, of course, Mom and Dad. You brought me into this world and gave me a happy and privileged life. You're my go-to people when I get sad and help me with everything I do. During my 13 years of being alive, you never once threatened to send me to an orphanage, no matter how bad I was being. I would like to call this an accomplishment. Point being, you were the start of it all. My existence began with you, and ever since then, you have helped me go through the tough times. I will always love you forever. I believe in God. I think that there are many things in this world from which there are no explanations but God. Rabbi Lipper asked me what I would say if God suddenly appeared here today. I would probably just stare, a little freaked for sure, and not know what to do. But if I thought about it, I might ask God why we are all not mentally and physically stable, and if God could push us in that direction. It would be great if my mitzvah project wasn't necessary because we were all whole and complete. We can all take part in that healing process as in this world. So God, help us heal each other so that our world may become healthy and whole. Amen.
Amen.
So Dad and I compilated a blessing for you. Before we read it, though, I wanted to just tell you how proud we are of you for your resilience, for having your own mind, and for always caring and thinking about how your actions or words might affect others. You want to say something?
Amen.
Amen.
And-
Okay. Ready?
We pray for you to continue to be a person of character, strong but not tough, gentle but not weak.
We pray for God to grant you good health of your mind, body, and spirit.
May your hands build and your heart preserve what is good and beautiful in our world.
Whenever you speak, may your words be words of wisdom and friendship. May you always look for the good in people.
May you use your many talents for good causes.
Wherever you journey, may your steps be firm, and may you walk in just paths and not be afraid.
May the voices of the generations of our people move through you, and may the God of our ancestors be your God as well.
May the stories of our people be upon your heart, and the grace of the Torah rhythm dance in your soul.
Know that we love you, and wherever life takes you, we are always here for you. We are humbled and proud to be your parents.
We praise God for allowing this joyous moment to arrive in our lives. Hodu ladonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, melech haolam, she'echianu v'kiyamanu v'gianu hazman hazeh.
Amen.
receive it. You would 100% flawless today. Like, not even if all of it. But you did.
So Adina, sorry. There's a traditional prayer you say at a bar mitzvah that the father usually says to the son, and it goes like Baruch shepatarni me'ansho shalazeh, which means, blessed is God who removed from me all obligation for this child. Now, we didn't hear your parents say that, which means you're still in good graces, and they're not going to send you off to an orphanage. But I want you to know something today that's very important. Bat mitzvah is a start. It's really the first day of the rest of your life. Because really up until this moment, you had to, they kind of urged you along. You were an independent studier. They didn't have to harass you, although you had a certain bar you had to hit because you're your mother's daughter. And you far surpassed that. But the important the important piece is that from now on, it's on you. Judaism is an ever-evolving tradition, and you have a myriad of choices in front of you as you face the world out there. And if you make those choices thinking that you're still holding that Torah, the choices will be right and true. But if you leave the Torah in the ark and you go out into the world and you don't take the values, even if you sometimes disagree with what the Torah says, if you don't take even that disagreement with you out into the world, you make choices without a foundation. Judaism gives you a rich foundation. And the future will be written by you. You're your own author. And we hope and pray that it will be a rich and beautiful future. Now, as a congregation, we have a few things to share with you. So I'm going to call up our board, Sisterhood, and Brotherhood representatives to come up.
Sarah and I are presenting on behalf of Sisterhood, but I want to say something first to Adina, since I've known her since she was born. You were the most beautiful child. You were funny. You let everyone hold you. You were not scared of anything, and TBS was your second home, right? So you would always run and hide. And your mother would say, "Where's Adina? I can't find Adina. Have you seen Adina?" And those of us that knew that all we had to do was walk into Marla's office, and there you'd be sitting on her lap, cuddling, with a lollipop in your mouth, watching a video, right? Your mom and dad say that you're a very independent thinker. When you go off to camp, your friends choose one activity, you choose the opposite. When you're in school, they choose one elective, you choose the other. I have to just tell one really quick story, and I'm not going to embarrass you, I promise. When Adina was 4, about 4 and a half, Becca was supposed to babysit her, and she got sick. So I got to go babysit. It's not embarrassing. It was so much fun, because you know her theatrical flair for singing and dancing. Well, Adina was supposed to go to bed. So we go upstairs, and she decides she's going to put on a fashion show for me. She took out everything from her bathing suit to her pajamas to her costumes to her dresses and proceeded to do a little fashion show. It was lovely. It was late. And finally, she put on her pajamas and she went to bed. So knowing you from this precocious gorgeous little girl. You've grown into this warm, wonderful, loving, hardworking young lady, and my family is so proud of you. And today you led us in a beautiful service. So I want to tell you that I'm so proud of you, and now I'm going to let you get your gift.
Shabbat Shalom, congratulations, Mazel Tov. I am, where's the gift?
They're in the bag.
In the bag? I was expecting to see a box here. But anyway, we love all of the graduates. It's really an accomplishment that you made it to this day, and I know that you're going to accomplish great things. You're going to go to college and go to graduate school, and and then after that, we have presents for this. And usually it is wrapped up here, but now you said it's in the bag. So therefore, it's a Kiddush cup that's presented to you from the Sisterhood with a lot of love. And use it for Shabbat and holidays while you're at home with your family. And when you go to college, you can take it with you. And then finally, when you get married, you can take it to your new home in this order. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Congratulations.
Adina, I loved your Dvar and your commentary. Maybe you'll be available to lead Torah study. Love that. You know, it's been our fortune and our misfortune to live in many lands. But no matter where we've been, no matter what else is going on in the world, tzedakah, righteousness, charity, taking care of others has always been part of who we are and what we do. On behalf of the Brotherhood, I'd like to present you with this tzedakah box. And this is not just any tzedakah box. It's a high-tech tzedakah box. This comes pre-formatted with 613 pennies, one for each of the commandments. And we hope that tzedakah will be part of your life forever.
Yeah.
I got one more for you. Actually, I got a lot more for you. Being up here is always an honor for us, and it's even more of an honor when we know the family. Your mom and my wife got to work together when you were a peanut in her tummy. Your dad and I have gotten to work together over the years as well, and it's been a real great honor to be up here, and you did a wonderful, wonderful job today. We've got a couple things for you. So from the temple, we want to present to you you can put that down. There you go, you're perfect. All right, we want to present to you your prayer book that you got to use today. So that is for you to use in the future, and I hope that when you use that in other Shabbat services, whether it be here at TBS, on your way, as Sarah says, when you get married, and all those other things that are going to happen in life, you remember this day. You remember these smiling faces, and it is wonderful that we get to finally see these smiling faces again. And remember the family and your friends surrounding you with love and happiness. We also provide you a bat mitzvah certificate, so that is for you to keep and to commemorate this specific day, this special day. On behalf of our youth group, we have a Havdalah candle, so you can celebrate Havdalah in your home. And with that as well, we have a $250 gift certificate that comes from NFTY, our National Federation of Temple Youth, or North American Federation of Temple Youth these days, to go to Israel and to take a trip with NFTY. And so that'll be a wonderful time. Hopefully in high school you'll get to do that. And while you're there, Cantor Reinwald and Rabbi Lipper has planted a tree in your honor. And so hopefully when you're there, you'll be able to get to visit that tree, and there should be a certificate coming to you then. You talked today that you hoped that we got something out of this service, and I will tell you what I got out of this service. Last night, you got to witness a bunch of us old guys trying to lead a service, and I'll use the word trying loosely. But your command today and your presence today showed me that the future of Judaism is secure. With people like you doing what you do, being able to do what you did for this community today, I know Judaism is secure for many, many years to come. So congratulations, Mazel Tov, so happy.
Please rise.
Rabbi Lipper, I want to thank you for inviting me to come forward at this time. Adina, one Hebrew word comes to mind at this very moment, and that's the word simcha. It's been my great pleasure to take part in many of the simchas in your family's life. In fact, I must tell you, because I brought with me to prove it, that I officiated at the bat mitzvah of your mother in years past. And this is the program from her bat mitzvah. Open the page and you'll see the back. You can hold it up. She looks exactly like you. It's unbelievable. Well, anyway, it's a great joy to have been officiated at your bat mitzvah and, of course, officiated at your confirmation. And then a few years later, it was my pleasure. In fact, it was the year 2006, correct, that I officiated at your parents' wedding. How many of you were there for that? Oh, all of you. That was great. Okay, so that was in 2006. So it is a wonderful, wonderful honor for me to be here today in this, if you will, Shalshelet HaKabbalah, the tradition of passing from one generation to the next, our Jewish tradition. The cantor now is going to recite what we call the Priestly Benediction. He'll do it in a Hebrew, but I'd like to do something rather quickly. I'd like to summarize what he's going to chant in 2 English words. They are the words 3, be thou a blessing. This is what each of us here pray for you, that you be a blessing to yourself, to the Jewish people, and to the entire world. Cantor?
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseim lecha shalom.
For the 1 or 2 of you who don't know me, I'm Rabbi Lawrence Goldmark. Thank you, Rabbi Lipper.
Let's continue in our service on page 587 with Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו ליחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. At this sacred time, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, those of every race, every nation and faith whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. This Shabbat, we mark the recent deaths of Sidney Benavista and Howard Spitzer, and we remember those whose yahrzeit falls this week: Paul Bachman, Helen Baer, Jesse Barkin, Jacob Bryan, Michelle Ciara Carew, Judy Davies, Edith Freed, Alan Friedman, Ruth Groner, Rosalind Gerwitz, Samuel Heitzer, Jacob Jenser, Rosalind Karp, Sylvia Katz, Anna Enelo Katz, Pessa Klipstein, June S. Levy, Salvatore Mayo, Sarah Morel, Grandma Savran, Judy Jacob Shepard, Mary Simbieda, Paul Silberfarb, Toby Silberfarb, Paul Smith, Roberta Wendy Whitcomb. Are there any additional names for Kaddish this morning? For all of them, we say, Zechronam Livraha, may their memories be with us as a blessing. Together, we turn to page 598 in our Sidurim and rise as a community for Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash merabah, v'alma divara hirute, v'amlik malchute, b'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalav zman kariv, v'meru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam alamei alamaya, yit barach v'yishtabach, yit pa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'it hadar v'it aleh v'it halal shmeid kudsha b'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'ameran be'alama v'imaru amen. Hey shlama rabba min shemaya v'hayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort to all who are bereaved among us. And let us all say, amen. We conclude this morning with
Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimromamu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh Shalom Ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel me'imeru. Amen.
Okay. All right, so we have a few blessings to do, and then a final blessing. So we'll start with Kiddush. Come over here, take one. Go ahead. You can have one. Take one. You know the words.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam.
Shehechianu, v'kiyamanu, v'hegianu, lazman hazeh l'chaim.
L'chaim.
Is this challah big enough?
So this is mine. I don't know what everyone else is having. Make a great sub sandwich. All right, so Adina, let's do the blessing. Which version do you want to do?
I don't know.
Let's do the regular one.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Turn off some. Feed them.
We'll send it back to the caterer to cut it up.
You gotta do this. You gotta feed those people. Aaron, here you go. So I'm going to ask you to join me in one final bracha. And Adina's going to end it with an amen, okay? So finish chewing. Say these words. Baruch, atah, Adonai, hatov, v'hametiv. Your turn.
Amen.
Blessed is God who is good and provides all these moments of goodness for us. Amen. Shabbat shalom and mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
You're welcome. I told you.
Thank you, Cantor.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me put this back on.
Wallah pagad.
Yes, sir. I don't know. Looks like it.
Adina, proud,
I know.
proud.
He looks over me.